Welcome back to another video. So today we are doing a brake pad change on this BMW 1 Series 116D. And we're doing the fronts only. We're not doing the backs in this video. If you want to see the backs, I'll do that in a future video. Today we're focusing just on the front. Let's get this jacked up in the air, put on axle stand, take the wheel off, and then we can start taking the brake pads out. As you can see here, it says it needs doing. So I'm going to do that and I'm going to get my OBD on it. Or if I can do it on the BMW itself, I'll clear it off on the BMW. But if I can't, I'm going to do it on the OBD. This is the BMW we're working on, by the way. It's a 2013 116 diesel. These are the pads I'm going to be installing in today's video. They're Drive Tech. Normally I use Brembo, but I thought we'd give these a try because I haven't tried them yet. These have already got the squeak plates on, so we don't need to use the old ones. Put a bit of copper grease here and there. Don't need to on there because it's already got a squeak plate on. You don't have to use copper grease, but I just use it anyway because that's what I've always done. It's always worked for me. Just make sure you don't put copper grease on the back of the pads, otherwise it won't be good, so just don't do that. So I'm leaving 2 bolts in there, so when I jack the car up they're loose and I can just unscrew them and pull them off. They're not really loose, but they will need one more wind over so I can pull them out. Don't want to do it in the air because obviously you've got a chance of it falling down if you do that, so that's why I've done that. Same on the other side. First I'm going to put the axle stand underneath the wishbone. Your jacking point is here. I'll lower it down so you can see. Jack it there with a jack. Put an axle stand on that wishbone over there. You should have the perfect clearance to get your wheel off as long as you're on ground level. So same on the other side. That's what you should be looking like. Take the other 2 bolts out and then we can take the wheel off. So you got to take this bit out first. The pain of seeing that right now is not nice, but that is now off. You need to get a flathead behind here and pull the little cap off. Pop that off. That's it here. Now you need to take that out. Be careful because these can cross thread and strip quite easily, so just be careful when you're taking these out. So you want to be using this, which is a CRV8. Should look something like this. Put it behind and loosen it off. These things are a pain in the ass. Sometimes they shred off. This one looks like it might be alright, hopefully. But undo that one, so put that to the side as you're going to need that. Might be worth getting some of these spare, as they can be unpredictable. Before we can slide it, you may have to push the pistons back, so you could get a flat head in this instance. And just push that back, so now you can see that's a lot looser, whereas before it's tight. There you go. I've got a brake press tool which I can put in after if it's not gone in far enough. So if you have one of those as well, it'd be worth having. So I don't think I'm going to get away with it, and I don't want to risk breaking this as this car's dailied. So I'm just going to take this one off as well, just to be safe. You can probably do it, but don't want to risk that today. Take that off. Do the same again. There you go, that is the other one off. Now, this should actually come off. So this goes on to the closest side, to the driver's side. We're on the passenger side now, so that goes closer in. These go against the discs, and these go in here, in the piston area. And this one just comes out. And now we can get rid of that horrible paint that was on it as well. We just need to get the new ones and change them over. And we need to try and put this caliper out of the way. So I'm literally just gonna put it like that, and up on there, as it should be fine, as it's quite balanced where it is. Get your new pads out and let's get it on. This side doesn't actually look too bad. As you can see, these are the old ones and this is the new one. So that they don't look too old. These ones are Delphi, they don't look old at all. So it must be the other side that's got the problem or the issue. But these are the new ones. So let's get them back in. I'm gonna do this one first, which goes inside to the piston, and then do the other one, just to see if it goes in. If it doesn't, I'm gonna use a brake pad tool to push the piston back further. And I am gonna use some copper grease, like I said. Again, I think this is just personal preference at this point. People either do it or they don't. Literally all you need is the tiniest bit, hence why I do it. And that's literally it, that's all you gotta do. So it's not really mandatory anymore, so you don't need loads, just a little. That's all you do. You can put it here, but the squeak plate's already on, so I don't need to. That one's in. Same with the other one. This should stop it squeaking if it ever gets like brake dust and stuff on. People say it doesn't, but others say it does, so I'm just gonna do it anyway, because it's always worked. And if you want to go that extra bit further, you can also put some copper grease on here as well, in case they are quite tight to get out. So if they are struggling to come out of these rubbers and out the threads, put some copper grease back on, so that when you go to do it next time, it won't be so hard, as you don't want them to seize in place. Put the other side in. So it looks like I need to push this piston back more. So I'm gonna go get a brake pad tool and push it back. So this is the brake pad press tool. You basically put it in there and you wind it up and down like a jack kind of, and it's meant to push the pistons back. So let's see if it works. This is from TikTok. This will show you if TikTok stuff's really worth it or not. So let's give it a try. So I'll put the old pad back in, because I don't want to damage a new one, just in case. Put it in like that. See if it works. And it is actually working, no way. Hold on, I want to try and get that in closer for you. It's this bit here that's going in. And there you go, no way. TikTok shop just came in clutch. You can do this with a screwdriver, but this would be a lot easier if you could use it. Right, now I need to actually get it out. So. Loosen it off like that. Take the old pad out. This ain't even sponsored, by the way. This is just me trying it. And as you can see, it's gone in. No way. I don't think TikTok shop would actually do something good, but that's good. So now that's done, I can put my pad back in. Like so. And it slides straight on, just like that. Put that one back in, and now screw it back in place. That one's done. Now put the caps back on. Same with the top one. Don't forget to put that back on as well. And there you go, that's it done. Right, so I wasn't going to show this side because it's basically the same process, but this was the side I showed on camera, not too bad. I think they're pretty much new. They're the same brand, Delphi. Same with the disc, they're Delphi as well. This side is more of a better example of why to change a pad. This here, that little block there, it's not too bad, but once you flip it over, it's a little bit worse. Look at the difference right there. That's how much pad has worn down over the years. That is crazy. So they've obviously done the time. These are meant to be new as well, so don't know what's gone on there. So it looks like they've changed the other side, but not the right driver side. That's an example there. That is your sign to check your brake pads, and if they need doing, do them. And surprise, that's not welded. It's got a couple more miles in, but not a great deal. It's like wafer thin ham compared to this. And if it looks crusty in there, you want to wire brush it off. So I've got my drill and I'm going to wire brush that off because that is nasty. That's another tip if you need to do that as well. And when the piston's more pushed in, like this, you shouldn't have to have the pad on, so you can do it without it as well. And that's how you do it without a pad as well, when it's pushed in further. Don't forget, once you put the car back together, you need to come inside the car and depress pedal until it goes hard like that. Just a couple times until it's solid, like now. And that is it. And when you go on your first drive, make sure that you don't go too heavy on the braking, because you want to let it ease in rather than going harsh braking, because it will just knacker the pads up straight away. So take it easy on your first 5,000 kilometers, which is recommended, and you should be good to go. So I'm now going to clear it off on the actual car, and if I can't do it on the car, I'm going to do it on the OBD. So I'm going to try that out now and see which one works. It still comes up on here, so let's try. See if we can get rid of that. So as you can see, it's on this screen and it is on the little screen here, so you don't need an OBD for this. So apparently you hold this down, it comes to this screen, hold it again. So I've finally got it to come out. You just hold the button and then hold it again, and then hold it again. You just keep lifting off every time it changes. So hopefully that should work. It might need new sensors, so it might not work. Yeah, there you go, it's not worked. You might need new sensors, because some are just like that, but if you get the new sensors, it should be fine. But apart from that, they work absolutely fine. At least they work. I'll try it again, but I don't think it will work. If not, I might try it on the OBD, as these are done. It's literally just the sensors, which is weird because they're all plugged in. I think you just have to get new ones every time, which is really odd, but not sure why that is. But that's how you do that if you want to do it, so you may need new sensors. So I've now got the Autel diagnostic on, because I'm going to try and override it. Basically, I'm going to tell it that the pads have been done rather than doing it on the car, as it's always saying successful. So I'm going to go into the hot functions area and then go to maintenance. Then you want to press CBS reset UDS. Let that do its thing. So it tells you the date and time right now. It's just loading. This will reset the vehicle. It has turned the vehicle off for me. Just wait for that to load. Right, and then it tells you your front brake pads and everything here, your rears, your brake fluids, all of that stuff. So I'm going to click on front brakes and I'm going to reset that now. For condition-based service, CBS reset will be performed in the next step. Note, if CBS reset fails, the following checks are recommended. Check the instrument cluster and entertainment head unit, and so on. If you want to read that, pause video. Continue. Front brakes, notes above 80% available, reset anyway, so yes. Just gonna try that once more. So I'm now erasing the codes to hopefully try and get this to come off, as this is the only thing I can think of doing. So the only thing coming back is nothing to do with what we need. But no, it's still coming back. There is a sensor which should go in here and clip into there, but obviously it's snapped. Open this box here, and as you can see, it's got the sensors in there. This is on the passenger side of the car, not the driver's. So we need to unclip this, basically just get it out, just put it out there, and then we need to disconnect it just here, slot that off, and that is the other piece. Now we need to go and get a new one because it's got an M missing, and once we've got it, it basically just pushes into that bit in there. Let's go get a new sensor. We have to change a sensor in order for the module in the car to stop it giving the sensor warning saying that the pads need changing. If we don't do that, it's going to keep carrying on to say brake pads worn, go get it serviced basically. So we need to do that in order for us to operate the BMW programming system so that we can actually successfully delete the pad off and say that it's basically been changed. Otherwise it'll just keep saying unsuccessful, which you'll see on screen now. Now that you've seen that, let's go and get the new sensor, put it on, and then it should cross this issue off. I've just been to GSF Car Parts. They didn't have a Drive Tech one, so I'm hoping the Brembo one will actually work. I'm praying it does. It's the same plug hole, but it's whether this end will actually fit. So hopefully it will. So I'm going to try and do that now. Apparently these can be a little bit tricky to get in, but we're going to find that out now. Hoping it will just go straight in, but probably not. When you're actually doing this, you want to make sure this is aiming towards a disc, this little latch clip there, and on the smoother side it wants to be aiming towards a piston. The reason you have this edge facing towards the disc, so it gives a signal of when these pads are actually wearing out. It will know from that basically. That's why I put it that way. Push it in until you hear a click. So do that until it clicks, and now you basically tuck this into there, tuck this one into that one, now put this in that one at the top, if you can get it. Yep, like that. So it goes like this, and we need to put this plug back into it. So that is my final result, and this is what it's looking like. That is now in, and hopefully it should work. Obviously it's going to come up again, but if we go to the car's service bit now again, just hold the button down. So it wasn't working, so I'd done the front brakes reset. So if I do it one more time, it says 100%, so it probably won't now. But it basically goes through all this. So if it's above 80%, it goes through all that, and it should work straight after, and it shouldn't come up with any warning. This is when you've changed the sensor. Before, you would have seen it with no sensor changed. Obviously it doesn't work, but there you go, the brakes are at 100% now. So that is now done. I don't know whether it's changed on the actual car. I'm about to find out. The car's been a bit of a nightmare. Let's have a look. A lot of things I don't want to reset, but as you can see, the pads haven't come up now. So let's have a look if they're on here. So it's still coming up with the pads on there. It's cleared off on here, which is weird. So I don't really know why. Oh, it's gone green now, so has it changed? Yes, there we go. Right, they have finally changed. So that is how you do that. All I did was change the front sensor in the car I had to use my OBD because on here, on the BMW, even though I had changed the sensor, it still wouldn't let me change it. On here it was in yellow, so I guess it was red or orange originally, but then it went yellow and said it wasn't possible to do. But obviously now it's worked, so obviously we're good to go now. Just make sure it's definitely gone. Yeah, it's still... Don't get that, it's just weird. BMW seems to be really odd. So you got to stick an OBD on it in order for it to work regardless. So I'm now gonna take this off and turn the car off. In fact, I'm just gonna turn the car off. Still shows up on there, but it says it's cleared. It's really weird. If anyone knows why, let me know, but it's saying no faults whatsoever on there, apart from service, which obviously it does need a service. But has it got any brake problems? That's what I want to know. Anything? No, I think it's done now. So no faults. Let's check that again. That's all good now. There we go, finally it is done, thank God. So all you got to do is get an OBD, because BMW doesn't always let you do it. And what I mean by that is when you hold this down and it goes to reset option, sometimes it should let you do it, but like there it says reset possible. Mine wasn't saying that, mine was saying reset not possible, but obviously with the logo for the brakes, but now it's worked, so I don't have to worry. So you do sometimes have to do it on the OBD. You can get the cheap £10 ones, but I don't know if you can do it on there. But as you can see now, all is well on the car, which is good. So that's a bonus. The car is now done, and that is how you do your brakes and the wear sensor on the BMW 1 Series hatchback 2013 1160D. So this is the message you should get on your main screen, not the little one, but the main one of when it's worked, and then the next how many miles that it will need changing again. So that is that now done. So yours may be different to mine in miles, but that's what mine is. And then it will show a warning sign like we seen a minute ago, come back up even though that was cleared. Just turn the car on and turn it back on and it will work. You don't have to have your car fully on, just the ignition. So there you go, that is it done. Just use an OBD if you can't reset it on there. It's the easiest way, but make sure you change the wear sensor, otherwise it won't work. But give it a go, because it might. But mine was obviously broke, so I had to change it regardless because it wasn't going to work. And even though the pads were changed like we know, it still didn't want to work because it needs that wear sensor to let the computer system know in the car how many miles are left in those brake pads. There you go, I will see you in the next video.